Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. Today's stream, we're going to be doing a bunch of geography quizzes, or at least I am. You can do them along with me, although we're going to be, the way that they're done, it's kind of weird, and it's not going to be the same quiz every time. Basically, it's randomized which ones it's going to do. So have a new background behind me, a new map, so everyone needs to guess where. It's going to be a little bit easier today just because it kind of says it already. If you haven't already seen the words, I'm not going to point to it. But hello, everybody. I'm just going to do a couple of quick click-throughs of saying hello, everyone. Yep, finally on time. Welcome, welcome. Glad to hear that this is becoming a fun afternoon treat, Friday afternoon treat specifically, TGIF. Hello, Karma. I don't know. Hello. Oh, Karma coming from Nebraska. We've got Brian Nash here. Hey, Brian, welcome here. And we already have somebody figuring out the map behind me. Yes, Livorno, Italy. I believe this one is 17th century. But yeah, so yeah. Oh, I missed Sajuka. Not sure about my geography knowledge. If I almost failed the date, didn't pay attention to the format, was already going back on the December 12th. Okay. Hello to everyone. Hello from Peru. So, hello from Venezuela, from Ohio. Welcome, everybody. Let's get this. Yeah, there we go. Let's make it actually look decent. So, the quizzes that I'm going to be doing today come from a site called Cetera. So hopefully I'm going to be sharing this correctly. Yeah, there we go. That looks pretty good. All right. So this is the site Cetera. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it. It's by GeoGuessr, which I think is much more well known. For anyone who's been following my channel for a while, you may remember I did a video of taking this same test in Europe. And funny enough, Brian Nash from How We Got Here Genealogy, he also took the test after seeing my video, and he's from Canada. So it was, American takes it, Canadian takes it. So check out his video after the stream too, and check out my other video. See how much better I do. Hopefully I do better. It wasn't that long ago that I did it though. So, but I see a whole lot more people jumping in. Just going to click through a few saying hello. So hello, everybody. I've done so many of these. Yeah, always a lot of fun. Yeah, they are a lot of fun. So hopefully I don't embarrass myself too much because I'm definitely going to have some troubles in some areas. But I thought one thing that would be interesting with this is that as I go through these tests, I'm going to talk about reasons why I know where certain places are and family connections of things in my own family, or places that I've researched for others that have allowed me to learn geography much better. Because I feel like for anybody, once you start learning the actual history, and especially if you get really into it, then part of the history often deals with the geography, where they go from, where they live, and you start to learn all of these different things. So I'm guessing we're going to spend our entire time on Cetera, but I had another quiz backed up just in case I ended up taking really long on this, although this backup quiz is kind of a long one. And that one is how many counties in the United States can you name, which I think there's over 3,000 different counties. Yeah, I think there's over 3,000 counties. Granted, a lot of them have the same name. So that's going to be like if I ended up jumping through these real quick. So the way they have it on the site goes North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Oceania, and then the world. And so I'm thinking I'm going to go just go down one at a time, North America, South America, so on and so forth. So hopefully, that works. They do have a lot of different kinds of quizzes. And so I'm going to start out just doing all the typical countries quizzes. And then from there, we can kind of do some of the other stuff that might be a little bit more fun, but also might be a little bit more telling on the lack of my knowledge of certain areas around the world. But I think everybody throughout the world is pretty much like that. And it does take kind of a special skill to be able to really know geography super well throughout the entire world. So basically my excuses of why I don't do so well if I don't do so well ahead of time. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to jump into it. And I'm not going to worry so much about the clock as I am just actually getting everything answered correctly, because I'm going to be talking a lot. So with El Salvador, trying to remember, we have Panama, Costa Rica, Guatemala. No, that's Belize, El Salvador. Okay, Dominican Republic, we have right there. Cuba right there. Nicaragua. Oh, no, Honduras. There we go. Belize, Haiti right there. Guatemala. My nanny from when I was growing up, Rebecca, was from Guatemala. Mexico, that's a super easy one. Canada, I wonder where that could be. Jamaica right there, which actually I have a family connection to Jamaica because there's Sephardic communities in Jamaica, and the family that I focus on more than any in my research, my Nunez Vaz family, there's a large branch in Jamaica, specifically living in an area called Spanish Town, which, if I remember correctly, I believe it's on the southwest coast of Jamaica. I could be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows. Our United States right there, Costa Rica, north of Panama, Honduras right there, and Panama. So starting out, I mean, even with talking about stuff, not too bad, 88%. So let me see what comments say. All right, yeah, a whole bunch of hellos from more people. All around the world, too. We've got Sweden, Australia, Minnesota. Okay, yeah. There's other comments with countries, but they're not saying that's where they're from. But hey, counties in England. That's an interesting one. I would probably do terrible. I definitely do not know the counties in England. I will definitely be doing European countries. I think I think that'll be the one after South America, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. Is that true that most Brazilian have black DNA? Which I think the better way to put this is, do most Brazilians have African DNA? And from my experience, I think that a lot of them do. I don't know if I would necessarily say most, because I know that I've seen a lot of Brazilian results that are much largely European and not as much African or Native American or various mixes. So it's certainly not uncommon. That's for sure. Are you reading the cheat? What? No, I'm not. I am not cheating. I have nothing around my desk to help me. Let's see. I now have the world song from Animaniacs going through my head. Yeah, that was my way of studying, just having that on loop. Oh, someone from Ontario, Canada. Hi from Louisiana. Norway, Lithuania, from everywhere. So yeah, if you're from elsewhere, definitely let me know. But all right, so let's get back to the quiz. So North America, I knew that was going to be easy. South America, I think I'll do pretty decently on, but there are a few countries I am a little bit worried about. So Brazil, easy one. Peru, oh my gosh, I always screw up Peru. Okay, there. Chile is easy, looks like a chili. Uruguay, right here. I always think Uruguay, Paraguay to the north. Bolivia, no. Oh, yeah, this is Bolivia. I screwed that up. Which means that's Ecuador. Colombia, south of Panama. Now, Suriname, I have family connections there as well. So another reason why I actually know stuff there. Big Sephardic Jewish community that traces their years back. Very interesting community known as Jodensvan. And it's a very, very interesting history. It was one of the Dutch colonies, which basically a lot of these Sephardic communities in the New World were in the Dutch colonies. So like there was a Dutch colony in Recife, Brazil, which is somewhere on the coast over here. I want to say it's over here, but basically there was a Dutch colony that was part of Brazil for a while. Then the Dutch lost it in 1654, and then the Jews had to leave. But, places like Suriname, Curacao, they have places. All right, Paraguay right there. Argentina, the big one right there. Venezuela. I have cousins who come from that Jamaican side of the family who went to Venezuela. Now, French Guiana, I'm pretty sure, is the one on the east. Yep, and Guyana is the one on the west. 93%. I was worried I was going to screw that one up. South America is one of those ones I'm decently confident in, but I think it's Ecuador, Belize, and Peru that are the ones that I always kind of like flip-flop of like which one is where, because they're all kind of, or did I say Belize? Bolivia, Peru, and Ecuador. I always kind of get these three mixed up. But Chile, I always remember because it looks like a Chile, really thin country. Brazil, big chunk of the, South America. I don't know if you all can hear my dog kind of starting to freak out in the back about something outside, but that's what you're hearing if you hear that. Colombia, south of Panama, Colombia, and then Venezuela. I always kind of think about the fact that, yeah, you had a lot of that family from Jamaica who went over to Venezuela. A lot of them actually going Curacao, Venezuela, or Suriname, and remembering that's kind of on the north coast. So, all right, let's go back. Let's see what do we have in. Okay, some more places people are from. We've got UK, Bornholm, Denmark. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but I've actually been researching Denmark a lot over the past year, and hopefully I will be getting my next video out next week on the main channel. I've been taking so long with it because I keep hitting hiccups as I'm writing the script, and there's more that I just need to research, but that next video should be taking us to Falster Island. So, Slovenia. My family has family friends that split their time between Wisconsin and Nicaragua. That's quite an interesting place to split your time between. Galway, Ireland. All right. Welcome, Stephen. So, all right. So I'm already breezing through. We haven't even been streaming for like 15 minutes. What am I at? Like just over 11 minutes. And I've already done North America and South America. Here, let me mute so I can blow my nose. All right. Up a couple more. Hello, Drea. Welcome back. Massachusetts, yes, home of NEHGS, the New England Historical and Genealogical Society, the oldest genealogical society in the United States. They also run that website, American Ancestors. A lot of great people that work there. Some people that are very big friends of the channel and have even been on the channel. I did interviews with Brent. Is it Brenton Simons? I think it is. I did an interview with Brenton Simons. Let me make sure I'm not screwing up his name. That'd be kind of embarrassing. Yeah, D. Brenton Simons. That's why I always kind of screw it up. All right, but Brenton Simons, and then David Lambert, who was in multiple videos, including helping with the research going into the shared family tree between Mr. Beat and Matt Baker of Useful Charts. So NEHGS, great place to visit if you're ever going to Boston. I've never been to Boston except for flying through, and that is one of the number one things on my list when I go to Boston, hopefully soon. We've got someone else from Norway. I could tell, yeah. Okay. Shalom from Toronto. Shalom. Happy Hanukkah. Chag Sameach. And then, yeah. All right. Let's go back to the quizzes. So next up, Europe. Hopefully I don't screw this one up too much, but this will be the one that I think I'll have the most to kind of talk about in terms of how genealogy has helped me in figuring out the geography. Okay. So Ireland, I wonder where that could be. Moldova, easy one. My family, my great-grandmother Jenny, who lived to be 109, her mother's side came from Kishinev, Ukraine, super easy. United Kingdom. And before I keep jumping too far, Ukraine, I have a lot of ancestry in Ukraine. I've done a lot of videos about the archival system in Ukraine, the projects by Alex Krakovsky, Sergei Fazulyanov, the new head, or the not new, he's been there for a few years, but Anatoly Kromov, the head of the State Archives of Ukraine, I believe is the official English translation of their archival system. And then a lot of other people, Victoria Himshit, Michael Levin, a lot of stuff. And Ukraine has kind of become one of my places of specialty in terms of at least Jewish genealogy in Ukraine has become one of my specialties or expertises. So, all right, Sweden, I always remember, I think I talked about this in the video, NSF, Norway, Sweden, Finland. I was about to say Frankfurt, wrong. But yeah, so I always do that. But in that video, I screwed it up and I was like, NSF, and they said Switzerland, and I was like, S, and I clicked and it was like, no, that's so wrong. All right, Slovakia. Now, this is actually how I remember Slovakia, because you have Czechoslovakia, but now you have the Czech Republic and Slovakia. So you have the Czech Republic and Slovakia, and then Austria, which I can't tell you how many times I accidentally make Czech Republic Austria. So hopefully I don't do that this time after I say that I always do that. Okay, getting into the hard part. Baltic states are the hardest ones for me. I know a lot of them, like Albania, Croatia. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. And then, Romania and but okay. I think Bulgaria is one of these, and I'm trying to remember which one, because one's Hungary, one's Bulgaria. Okay, good. Croatia looks like a C. Switzerland, I wonder where. So Swiss Alps is a great way to always think about it. You've got the Alps down here. So you've got the Swiss Alps and the Austrian Alps and all, or is the Austrian Alps? Why am I feel like maybe I'm screwing that up, but yeah. All right. Portugal. I definitely have family coming from Portugal. They had to kind of, escape. Okay. Montenegro. Okay. Which ones? No, that one's called like North, whatever. Montenegro. No, Kosovo. There, Montenegro. Romania, I have family that technically they were from Romania at the time, but the border jumped so much. Now, the area that they were is literally like right here north of Moldova, and it's actually kind of like a little enclave almost. If you look at a map where, looking at my hands, this is north, this is south, and Moldova is my hands. So south, east, west. Hopefully I'm doing that right. So it makes sense. But south, east, and west, there we go. That's all Moldova. And then north is Ukraine. And the town that my family came from would be like where my nose is. It's called Sokarani. So, yeah. All right. Andorra, that's a small one. Is that Andorra? What? Don't tell me I'm screwing that. Yeah, that's Andorra. It is. Okay. Some of those small ones I screw up. North Macedonia, right there. Germany, always remembering Netherlands, Germany, Poland, Vatican City. That's easy. Just look for Rome. San Marino, just look for the other side. That actually works out that those came back to back, because sometimes if they don't, that can be a little bit more difficult to figure out. Now, Kosovo is this one. France, Lithuania. Now, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. And I used to always have trouble with Lithuania and Latvia until I researched the family tree of Steve Heimler, and I did a lot of research about the town of Mariampol, where his family had come from. And basically, that's how I learned a lot more about Lithuania. And now I'm much more confident in naming Lithuania. Spain. Where could that be? Maybe the Iberian Peninsula? Okay, Belarus is north of Ukraine. And an easy way to think of that, if you kind of keep up with, what's going on right now in the world. Russia has been putting a lot of their troops in Belarus, and before they invaded Ukraine, that's kind of where they were staging a lot of stuff in Belarus. And so that's kind of an easy way to remember it is, they came into Kiev, which I think is about right here, and they came, down south. So, all right, Austria down here. Don't want to get it mixed up with the Czech Republic. Belgium, south of the Netherlands. Albania is right here. I always remember Albania is on the coast, north of Greece. Latvia, Bosnia, and Herzegovina. I always have to see it to read it. Poland, Czech Republic, Iceland. It's that big old chunk over here. Serbia is this. No, Slovenia. How could I screw that up? Okay. Is that? Yeah, that is. Denmark, like I said, been doing a little bit of research over here in the in Falster Island. I think it's this big one. I can't remember exactly. Norway, no way. Russia, Liechtenstein. Yeah, it's the small one. Luxembourg and Liechtenstein are two ones that I get mixed up because they both start with L and they're both small and right packed in between all these countries of France and Switzerland and Australia. I almost said Australia, Austria. Okay, Estonia, the northernmost part of the Baltic states. Malta is this small little one south of Sicily. Finland, Hungary. That's Hungary. Monaco, Luxembourg. I almost screwed that up. Woof. Netherlands. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, the Netherlands is like basically my big specialty, most specifically the Portuguese Jewish community of Amsterdam, and then a little bit vaguer, the Jewish communities in Amsterdam, but then also kind of broadly the Netherlands. And the Netherlands is one of those countries that is leading in terms of modern archival websites and genealogical collaboration. And yeah, it's amazing. A lot of the amazing websites on there. I know we talked about it in the last stream on the main channel where I ranked the websites, and they had Open Archive Archiven on that list, but they didn't have the Amsterdam archives or Vivas V or Stenen Archive, or Stenen Archive is kind of a specific Jewish one, but like they didn't have a lot of other ones that are available. Slovenia, last one. So 96%, pretty good. Talking my way through it. Took just under 8 minutes. Let's go back. Let's see what we've got going on in the comments. We got a lot of stuff going on here. All right. Yeah, Brian. Yeah, the videos with Alex Krakowski. Highly recommend checking those out. It's very interesting. When he first started doing a lot of what he was doing, Alex Krakowski, that is, he was having to sue a lot of archives in Ukraine because a lot of them still had people that basically were doing things the old KGB ways and the ways that it was back with the USSR. And now Ukraine had a modern constitution that said these records were public information, basically like the United States' freedom of information laws. So he was suing these archival agencies and even the Ministry of Justice of Ukraine and winning because they were blocking people from digitizing stuff. Now things have changed a lot, I think in part because of his work, but now things are just kind of really taking off with digitization in Ukraine. You should try one of those no outline minefield maps. I'll have to look at those. I'm not familiar with that. No outline. So I guess it's just you just kind of say, I know it's right about here. That's funny. Ukraine is here today. Wonderful. Let's see a few more. Yeah, a lot of people speaking multiple languages. Silly question. Are Czech Republic and Czechia the same? I think so, but I don't know. I don't know the history there that well to be able to say exactly. So maybe people can say below, I think, but I'm not sure. I just know, used to be Czechoslovakia and now it's Czech Republic and Slovakia. All right. Brian said yes. Okay. So thank you for clarifying, Brian. Let's see. Maven got 100% in 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Still got those high school skills, I guess. Nice. You did better than me. I did 96%, although I'm not looking at time because if I was trying to do time, I think I'd be breezing through these a lot better. Impressive, you sure you're American? Well, I think a lot of this might have to do with the benefit of genealogy. I feel like a lot of genealogists I talk to have a better grasp of geography overall than most others, just because when you learn these histories, even the micro histories throughout the world, it just adds this layer of trying to think of a good word to put for it, but it adds this layer of knowledge that just makes that connection in your mind so much simpler to know it's right here. Because I know before I did genealogy, I probably had maybe a little bit better of a geography grasp than most Americans. Big part of it being that I lucked out in North Carolina. We have really good schools where I'm at, and I attended a lot of those really good schools. And I'm speaking about middle school and high school. And so I feel like a lot of people from the schools I went to probably were a bit better off with that. But I know that things have escalated so much more just because of doing all that genealogy. So let's see. Shall we start calling you Jared of orange hair? Hey, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, with that Dutch tie, why not? Why not? So, we have someone here from Serbia. Hello. Hopefully I didn't offend you when I screwed that up. I think that was the one that I screwed up, wasn't it? Yeah. Like I said, the not the Baltic, oh my gosh, the Balkans. The Balkans. I can't speak for other countries' education systems, though. Yeah. To your earlier comment, in Norway, we learn English early, I think, from first grade. Okay, that had to do with the language. All right. So let's see. Oh, wonderful. You live near Mariampol. Well, if you did not see the episode I did tracing the family history of Steve Heimler, definitely check it out, because I talk a lot about Mariampol going back to the 19th century, even with talking about how I found connections between his family, or possibly his family. We didn't find the true connection proving it was his family, but same surname in the same area, and so few people with that surname that probably the same family, but connected with the Polish rebellion in the area in the 19th century. So gets in some not as widely known histories with Lithuania, but then also talks a lot about the World War II and Holocaust stuff there, because it's about the Jewish families there. All right. Let's see. Looking through a few more. All right, cool. So we're going to jump to the next quiz. So we did Europe, and now we're going to get into the ones where please don't lose too much respect for me. Hopefully I do okay. So starting with one that I'm pretty decent with, Sudan. I actually do know. The Gambia, that's easy because it's just a river. It's just a river. So if it's the Gambia, it's just the river. Eritrea. Okay. So we know it's East Africa. I think this is Eritrea. If I remember, it's Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia, Ethiopia. Yeah. Chad. It's one of these. I'm doing good. Okay. Mozambique is this one. North of South Africa. Okay. Brundle. Hopefully I'm not saying a lot of these names incorrectly as well. Brundle. That's the one south of Rwanda? It is. Malal. Okay. Malal is that one. I'm actually doing pretty good so far. Okay, Lesotho, I think, is this one, because it's Lesotho, and Eswatini is right there. Western Sahara, I know that one, south of Morocco. Ghana, I feel like with Ghana, Benin, Togo, those are kind of like big ones that you hear a lot in terms of the Atlantic slave trade. Guinea-Bissau, right there. Comoros, I think this is one of the islands. Yeah. Cameroon, I know here, I always think Cameroon and the Congo, and we've got the Congo there. Democratic Republic of the Congo. is the big one. And then just regular Republic is the one to the west, right? Yes. Okay, maybe I underestimated my African skills. And of course, I'm saying that, and then I'm probably going to screw everything up now. Somalia, I already said that. Okay, Niger's right. Okay, one of them's Nigeria, one of them's Niger. Is it? Yeah, and Nigeria right below. Morocco. Now, I actually have family connections to Morocco because of the Sephardic connections. And interestingly enough, one of those connections traces back to Zaleh in Morocco, and that's through my Espinoza line through the Netherlands, but not the same Espinoza family as Baruch Spinoza, who was actually born Baruch de Espinoza. His father was Michael de Espinoza. I recently visited his father's grave. And the Espinoza family traces their lineage before Amsterdam to Zaleh. And one of those descendants, which, you know, some people in the comments may like this, some people may not, but John Berman from CNN, I think his name is John Berman, right? Yeah, John Berman, the anchor from CNN, he's also an Espinoza descendant. And they did one of those CNN things talking all about that. So very interesting. Okay, so continuing. Now, this one's either an island or it's one of these ones over here. No, that's Martine. Mali, so it's got to be an island. Oh, ooh, that's the worst. That's the worst one I've done so far. Djibouti, I know. Eswatini. I always that's one that's kind of, yeah. Okay, Uganda. Uganda's somewhere in here. Okay, let's see. This is Kenya. Does that make this? No, Tanzania. That's right. It's Zambia. Don't tell me Uganda's somewhere else. Oh, I knew it was kind of that eastern region. All right, now we're starting to get into not doing so well. Gabon, I think, is there. Tanzania, I just kind of gave away. Libya. Oh. Tunisia, Egypt, Libya. Yeah, okay. South Sudan, easy. I know Sudan. And then South Sudan is south of that. Namibia is one of these, I want to say. Zimbabwe. I knew it. Okay. Kenya, Ethiopia, Kenya. Yes. Okay. Republic of the Congo. Algeria. Liberia. No, that's it. No, that's Guinea. Or Guinea. Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, Senegal, Liberia. Okay. Rwanda, I know that one. The Rwandan genocide. Sierra Leone, Burkina Faso, I think is this one. Yes, it is. Angola. Oh, this one's going to be hard. Angola. Which one is Angola? No, that's like, that one's called like Central Africa Republic or something, if I remember correctly. Angola, it's got to be one of these. Ah! Okay, Benin and Togo, that's easy. Benin, Togo. Now Senegal. No, oh my gosh, that's right. It's that. Oh, it's the one around the Gambia. Oh, whoops, did not mean to elbow my microphone. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. All right, Mauritania, Equatorial. I always remember, just think of the equator. Tunisia. Now this one's a family connection because, as we can see behind me, I have Livorno, and well, what's right across from Tunisia? Italy. And a lot of my Italian family ended up in Tunisia throughout the years, obviously until they were kind of ran out. The ones that were left were ran out of Tunisia, specifically in Tunis. But that's one that's always easy to remember because south of Italy. Okay, Ethiopia, Togo, Zimbabwe is one of these. Zimbabwe, yeah. Botswana, Cape Verde, Cabo Verde, always easy because that's just islands right off of that western part of the coast. Central African Republic. Okay, yeah. Mali, Madagascar, the big island. Egypt, well, I wonder where that could be. I feel like Egypt, of every country in Africa, if there was one that I think most people would get, I feel like Egypt would be the one. At least from an American point of view. So, like, if you asked every American to name any country that they could name by, locating it, I think Egypt would be the one, just because everyone knows that Egypt is the country that kind of leads into the Middle East. And so all you have to do is kind of look for that one right up there. Okay, Zambia, this one, Sao Tome Principe, the Ivory Coast, 82%. All right, I think maybe I didn't give myself enough credit. I was honestly like, please be over 60%. Please. I will say, I think I lucked out in the order that I was given some of them. Like in this area right here, I usually do not do well. Like the Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana. The only reason I remember a lot of these is I just always remembered that a lot of the Ias are down in here. You do have Nigeria up over here, but like for the most part, you don't really have many places with IA endings. They're all kind of like lumped right there. I do usually remember Mozambique. I always remember Rwanda's the northern one of the two small ones right there. And then Lesotho and Eswatini, just because I don't have super strong connections to South Africa, but my sister's first husband was South African. I do have a lot of cousins I've found who are in South Africa. So I've kind of had reasons to learn about it. So yeah, not too bad. Let's take a look. What was going on in chat? The hard part about Gambia is not clicking Senegal. Very true. Very true. Burundi and Malawi end with an I, not an L. Yeah. So my eyesight isn't the great. I need to go to the eye doctor, get my prescription updated, have a little too much hypermetropia in one eye and a little bit too much astigmatism in the other. All right. Let's see. Don't judge me too hard. Proceeds nail it. I underestimated myself. Granted, I think this is the one that I've done the worst on so far. So, but I don't know. I'd love to see some of the other genealogy channels do something like this. I know some of them do live streams. Like I've seen Andy and Devin do live streams from Family History Fanatics. I'm pretty sure Connie Knox does live streams, but I don't know if she does public. Yeah, I think she does. But like, I'd love to see them do this stuff kind of public too, and maybe show that genealogy really does help with this geography stuff. All right. So looking through, yeah, South Africa is a freebie. If you don't get South Africa, it's kind of like, well, do you know you're north-south? All right, let's see. Oh, we have a DNA question. What are the genetic admixture of Puerto Ricans, Brazilian, and Dominican Republic? I mean, they're all going to vary somewhat. In my experience, people with Puerto Rican ancestry and Dominican Republican ancestry, they often have a pretty good mixture of that African, Indigenous American, and European, with kind of higher amounts of African than I would expect elsewhere. With Brazil, I think it's kind of a mixture of it. And I think with Brazil, especially with Brazil being such a large country, it varies depending on the region that they're from. So I think with Brazil, you get kind of a wider range of variation with that. Whereas with most that I see from Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic, they usually have a decent amount of African in there and Indigenous American. but not always. Not always. All right. Turn the table and talk about genealogy with GeoWizard and those types of channels. I think I contacted some of them about doing YouTuber family trees. When I did YouTube, when I started contacting people about being a guest on there, I first focused on people in the history niche because I figured, well, let me test this out and see if history nerds enjoy it. Because, if the people that watch Mr. Beat and Useful Charts and From Nothing and Heimler's History, all those, if they enjoy what I put out, then there's definitely potential for a wider audience. And once I did, I think it was Matt Baker's, once I finished his season, that's when I started to try to reach out to a lot of various YouTubers outside of history and even outside of education. And I think that was one of the things I focused on was geography. Like I contacted Kyle, Geography King, about being on the series, and he wasn't interested. I contacted Beaver Geography, I think it was, but I think he's kind of a young kid, and he was a little hesitant too. But I believe I did contact GeoWizard, and I just never even heard back. So I don't know. But maybe one of the things with the YouTuber Family Tree series, I should say, for anyone that has a YouTuber that you would love to have on the series that you think would really enjoy it, start telling them, like comment, message, tell other people too that are fans of them. We need to find this out. We need to get them on there, because I try to reach out to people, but it's very difficult sometimes. And, as a small channel myself, I mean, I'm blown away by how many emails that I get all the time. So I can't even imagine what it's like for some of these bigger channels. And I'm sure a lot of my messages that have gone unanswered also went unseen. So, it is what it is. Let's see if I had to get my geography knowledge only from genealogy, I would only know little villages in Limburg, South Province of the Netherlands. Yeah, I mean, if it depends on your genealogy too. I guess from an American standpoint, even if you're Native American, Indigenous American, there's still a lot to learn about other countries, because it's so heavily influenced everything. So, but then again, I also do a lot of genealogy on families beyond just my own. So a lot of what I've learned is that kind of stuff. Let's see. All right. I need to blow my nose. The starting to get cold here in North Carolina, and my allergy, it's like this cold hot. When the cold fronts come in and the warm fronts come in, it just messes with my allergies. All right, so taking a quick look at the numbers here, we've been hovering around about 50 people for the stream so far, so pretty good. I will say, for anyone, I see most everyone's on YouTube, but I also am streaming on Facebook and Twitch, where I'm trying to build my platforms there as well. Kind of diversify, things, just in case, YouTube isn't always around, although I imagine it'll be around for a good amount of time. But main point being, if you're on Facebook or Twitch and you didn't know that I was there, go follow, like, subscribe, all that stuff. It definitely helps me out. Especially on Twitch. I'm really trying to get up to the point where I can make something streaming on Twitch. But all right. GeoGuessr stream would be cool. Yeah, it would be. I think I'd have to pay for an account. I forgot how much they are, but yeah, I don't know. That one I wouldn't be able to really talk as much about genealogy as something like this. Am I on Twitter? Yes, I am on Twitter. Just look me up at GeneaVlogger. I think I even have it. Yeah, if you look at the bottom right of the screen, I have my ats at Twitter, Instagram, and then my 2 YouTubes. So 3 on Twitch now. All right. It's not showing me the proper numbers on on StreamYard where I'm streaming from. Let me look at my Twitch real quick, because yeah. Oh, sweet. Thank you. I've gotten a few follows today. So yeah, wonderful. Oh yeah, and I just realized that Jojo from the Netherlands is talking from Switch. Yeah, I did not realize that. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. All right, so let's go now. We've done North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia. Now this one I think I'll do worse than Africa. I think I will do worse than Africa on this one, but we'll see. All right. Let's do this. Malaysia. Okay. Somewhere around here. Okay, I know Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, because I have a general American history knowledge. No, that's Thailand. Malaysia. Okay. Bangladesh. Sri Lanka. That's not Bangladesh. I'm trying to remember what that is, but I can't remember what that is. Gosh, Bangladesh. It's somewhere over here. No, that's not it, is it? No, that's Thailand, yeah. Myanmar. Oh, it was that. Why was I thinking that? Okay. Like I said, I'm definitely going to be doing worse on this one. Kyrgyzstan, somewhere over here. We've got Kazakhstan, Mongolia, north of China. East Timor is one of these like small ones. Yeah. Okay, Lebanon. Jordan, Lebanon to the north of Israel, North Korea, Turkey. I love how they spell it like that. Afghanistan. Let's see. Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan. Yeah. Laos, Myanmar, Kazakhstan. I know that's the big one south of Russia. Iraq. Oh, people are going to hate me. I always miss up Iraq and Iran. Oh, that hurt. That one hurt. All right. United Arab Emirates. I think it's that one. Tajikistan. No, it's Georgia. Oh, so close. I have a general, it's kind of, there is a general breaking up, I feel like, of Asia that if you at least understand that, it's almost like it turns it more of a multiple choice question because it's like, okay, Maldives, I know it's kind of somewhere over here. The Maldives. Yeah. Azerbaijan is going to be one of these ones over here. And is it this one? Yes, it is. Thailand was one I clicked on a couple of times, screwing up. Taiwan, island south of China. Georgia, I know. Now, interestingly enough, the reason why I know Georgia is thanks to NFKRZ, no fuckers, who I just did a recent reaction to him taking another DNA test. But I know Georgia because that's where he went to, I guess you could say, flee Russia. And he went to be, gosh, I can't even pronounce it. But yeah. India, I know that. Cambodia is down here. Oman. Bhutan. Okay. Bhutan. Is that one of it's like one of the ones. Or is it that? No. Oh. Right there, that's right. Okay, yeah. Because Yemen, it's right here. Vietnam. Know that. Brunei. Okay, I know that's one of the ones I just clicked it. No, that's Singapore. This is Brunei. Sri Lanka, the island. Philippines, I know that. I had a cousin who was on the death march in the Philippines, the Bhutan death march. He survived it. Very interesting story is that his best friend died on the march, and his best friend, before he died, asked my cousin to throw his body off of a cliff so that it couldn't be disrespected by the Japanese. And my cousin threw his body off the cliff, but one of the other things he promised was that he would go and tell his wife what happened. Well, my cousin went and told the wife, and then they fell in love and ended up marrying, and then they had a family, and that family lived in Texas. But yeah, very, very interesting story. A cousin that we're all very proud of. Okay, Nepal. Now, Nepal I always know because with Nepal, I always think of Mount Everest, and it's not necessarily north of India, but it's like India. It's in between India and China. Armenia is gonna be Middle Easternish. Yeah. Singapore, boom. China, boom. Pakistan, boom. Kuwait. No, that's Qatar. Okay, Israel, Jordan. That's not Kuwait, is it? No, that's not. No, it's Syria. Oh, it's that little one. Okay, Israel, I definitely need to get right. Indonesia. Now, Indonesia was a Dutch colony. Wonder how I know about Indonesia. Now, one of the cousins I met recently on one of my Amsterdam trip, which I'll be doing a video all about that. I've been working on that one too. He comes from Indonesian ancestry. And so I kind of started to learn a little bit about it from him. And then I met another cousin who I didn't know was a cousin at the time. I just randomly went into his chocolate shop that his wife and he owned, and started talking about stuff. And his wife came from the Spice Islands in Indonesia, and he kind of taught me most of what I know. So my cousin Ian Wagenhaus, thank you very much. For anyone who goes to Amsterdam, definitely check out their store, Cacao and Spice, I believe is what it's called, and it's actually in the red light district. So he's a historian, and he's very well versed about the history of the Jews in Amsterdam, and he's also very well versed about the history of businesses and things throughout Amsterdam, including the red light district and the cannabis culture and the other cultures that go along with the red light district. So he was a very, very interesting guy. So all right, South Korea, Qatar, that was the one yeah, I did it. All right, Jordan, we know that one. Uzbekistan is one of these two. Saudi Arabia, Iran, not Iran. I've had so many comments about that. And I'll tell you, it's just the American pronunciation. They say Iran, Iraq, not Iran, not Iraq, Iran, Iraq. It's just the pronunciation. I get it why some people get kind of all up in arms, but it's the same thing for me where it's like I'll have a friend that I've known for years for some random thing, and then they'll see my name spelled for the first time. They'll be like, "Wait, your name's Jarrett? I thought it was Jared." And it's like, yeah, whatever, same difference. Okay, Syria right there, Russia. I wonder what that could be. Bahrain is that little guy. Turkmenistan, 75%. So not too bad. I thought I was going to do worse than the African one. I obviously did, but I think a lot better than I was expecting. I mean, for the African one, I think I said I was hoping to get over 60%. I was hoping to get over 50% on this one. So yeah. All right, let's check comments. What's going down here? All right. Stephen Millsap. Hello. Thank you for joining again. Life is good. Hope life is well for you. Yeah, interesting. Frisian, unique group that stretches between Netherlands, Germany, and Denmark and gets misreads. Yeah, and a very interesting culture. They have their own language of Frisian, which is, I think, a lot of my cousins that live in Amsterdam and throughout the Netherlands, because a lot of them aren't just in Amsterdam. They've moved around. And a lot of them talked about, one of them lived in Frisian. And I'm trying to remember where exactly. But he was telling me that when he came to Amsterdam to visit me, he actually hadn't been using his Dutch so well for a long time. So he actually kind of felt like he was stumbling with it because he speaks Frisian mostly. Oh, getting messages. All right, let's see. The stands would be my downfall. I mean, hey, I didn't do that much. I think that that was the area I think I didn't do the greatest. Is it? Well, actually, I guess I did pretty good based on, if it's white, then I clicked it initially. If it's yellow or orange, I think it's 1 or 2 clicks, and then red it took me more than 3 clicks. So I guess I did. Yeah, I mean the stand, Tajikistan, all those. Yeah. So I don't know. One of the things with these quizzes, it could also be the order, because sometimes if the order goes in a certain way, you can kind of knock out a few that you really know well, then the others, becomes easier because it's kind of, mapped out a little bit better. All right. Doing my bit, adding the number of viewers. Awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah. One of the things with Twitch too is I think I have to have 5 concurrent commenters at one time. So that definitely helps out. Yeah, definitely. So anyone who has a Twitch profile, if you're watching elsewhere, jump on over to my Twitch so I can get those numbers up there. That'll definitely help me out. All right. Oh, Drea might have missed anything about the Philippines. Yeah, the Philippines was the one I talked about. My cousin served in World War II, was stationed in the Philippines, became a POW, was forced on the Bataan Death March. His best friend died on the march, and the friend asked my cousin before he died to hide his body and to tell his wife when he went back home. So my cousin threw his body off a cliff, was able to survive, went and met his best friend's wife, or I think maybe fiance at the time, to tell her what had happened. And then they ended up falling in love and having kids and a family of their own. So yeah, very, very, very interesting history there. Let's see. This map is not CCP approved. Yeah, I did think, I don't know if anyone noticed, but with the Pakistan, I don't know if you noticed that they kind of had some of those disputed areas kind of, yeah. So, I guess maybe, yeah, the Bataan Death March. I don't know if I just had a whole ton of comments coming through real quick, but yeah, Bataan Death March, very heavy stuff. Yes, Indonesian food is awesome. And that was one of the things that I learned very quickly in Amsterdam, was that there was a lot of Indonesian food and a lot of Surinamese food. And then there was other places kind of like, I feel like I saw like a lot of, doner kebab type of places. Let's see, just jumping through. See a lot of people kind of chatting with each other. So, okay. We did that. So now I think the only one left on the main ones is Oceania. And actually, this might end up being a good one to finish on, because I just noticed that we're coming up on about 1 hour of streaming. So, all right. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you all comment once I finish this one, and let me know, do you want me to continue and do a couple of more, or because there are all these other ones too, and some kind of more fun ones in a different sense. Where were they? Yeah. Oh yeah. Like the different teams and all of that. So that one will be really confusing for the international viewers. So, all right, now Oceania, this one I think is going to be one that, I don't know. It's very questionable. I definitely hope I get over 50%, but we'll see. So New Zealand starting off strong, very easy. Definitely knew that. And instantly we get into difficulty. Tuvalu. Now, if I remember, I think this is Fiji. I think Tuvalu is one of these, like, that's Micronesia. Is this Tuvalu? No, that's Marshall Islands. The Federated States of Micronesia. I do know that. Okay, Tonga. Okay, I think that's Fiji. Tonga, Samoa, Tonga. Okay, Samoa. That was kind of luck. That really was luck. It would have probably taken me a couple to get. Australia, Papua New Guinea. That's an easy one. Okay, Palau. Now the funny thing is, for Americans, if you are a World War II buff, I imagine you might do this one a little bit better than others, just because I feel like that's probably the way most Americans will know these islands. All right. Oh, screwed it up. All right. Vanuatu. Was that? No. Oh gosh, I'm so bad right now. All right, Marshall Islands, Solomon Islands. Marshall. Okay, let's hope I can finish above 50%. We're at 50% now. We've got, what is it, 3 left. And I've been given them. I know this is Fiji. So Nauru, above 50%. Above 50%. All right. Yeah, I knew that one was going to be the worst one. I knew it was. I mean, Australia, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, dead giveaways. Fiji, I guess I did know it pretty well for whatever reason. I don't know why. And then the others. Yeah. So, okay, let's see what. Yeah, that was so quick. Maybe I do need to do a couple of more quizzes. That one was a little too quick. 2 minutes. All right. So let's see. So, all right. Everybody comment, what quizzes do you think I should take next? And we have all of these options of all of this stuff from Cetera. But the other one, which I don't know, maybe I don't know. Maybe I should do the other one as like its whole own thing. The other one being, I had this one ready just in case. So this basically where it's you just name as many counties as you can in the U.S. Ooh, excuse me. It's an hour and a half long though, so that's really gonna make this stream a super long one. But let's see what everyone's saying. Okay. Antarctica quiz time. I don't know. Is Antarctica split into anything? Counties of England, I would fail. U.S. states, that's actually not a bad idea. U.S. states, no borders. Interesting. U.S. and Canada. Canadian provinces, I think I would be so. I feel like my Canadian provinces would probably be along the lines of like my Asia results. UK counties, yeah, I don't know. North America, British provinces, streets in Amsterdam. I mean, I could tell you a few of them: Vibatstraat, Westperplein. I don't know. Ik spreek een beetje Nederlands, so I only remember a little bit. Just the ones that are very easily rememberable for, yeah. Jaap Nuisstraat, which is not in Amsterdam. It's on the outskirts of Amsterdam. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. I think maybe this county's one. I don't know. An hour and a half is a long time when I've already done an hour. So maybe should I do the counties one as another stream, because that could be its whole own stream. Dankjewel. Well, I think maybe it's just because it's partially my blood, but I also, I tried to learn a good amount before I went to the Netherlands. I haven't been keeping up with it, so it's not that great. But I was definitely, from what all of my cousins told me, who are, a lot of the Amsterdammers and from different areas throughout the Netherlands, they were all fairly impressed by my accent. And there were a few times when we were out and someone would ask me something, and I would just say whatever I knew in Dutch. So like a common thing, I was getting a lot of orange juice there because they have real orange juice there, and it tastes so much better than orange juice in the US. So it was constantly like sinaasappel, sinaasappel, sinaasappel. And every time they'd be, and I'd be like, what? So, all right. What languages do I speak? I think that comes down to a question of when you say speak, what do you mean? Speak fluently? English is really the only one. Elementary speak, I'd probably say Spanish is my best, for which actually a big part of that probably comes from the fact that Spanish was my first language, which goes back to the whole fact that my nanny when I was growing up was from Guatemala, at least my first nanny. So that when I speak pretty decently well. All right. So I think from what I was seeing, from what a lot of people said, I kind of like the idea of the US states. And if we can do the US states, okay, no outline. So the US states outlines, what's the difference? Okay. So outline like that. But I thought, okay, that's outlined. US state outlines. Oh, wait, maybe there's more. Okay, let's see. Do we have... I don't see it without no borders. Am I just missing this? Sporkle. Sporkle is the one. I've never heard of that. Sporkle. A world of quizzes. Sporkle. A world of quizzes. All right. So United States, no borders. Is this what you're talking about, Maven? This one, find U.S. states. I'm assuming so. 61.8 million plays. Let's see. I think this is it. All right, let's do it. Texas, right there. Arkansas is right here. Missouri, right there. New York. Yeah, there we go. Iowa. Let's see. We got Pennsylvania, Ohio. No. Iowa. Where? Why am I screwing up Iowa? We've got Ohio, Indiana. Isn't Iowa right around here? Where am I doing? Interesting. Oh, wait, is it? I'm getting page unresponsive. Does it work? Okay. I think this site has too many ads. Because, I mean, I what is... All right. What are you doing to me, website? This website, unfortunately... Okay, wow. Yeah. We're going to give this another try. Yeah, that was really weird. It like glitched out. I think it just got... I think it's one of these sites that just has so many ads that it just glitched out. Yeah, it's already... All right. Yeah, I'm... Unfortunately, I'm not going to do that site. That site is not doing well. It's not working well for me. That's too... I would love to take that quiz though, but that's a shame. that's just a really badly designed website or something. I mean, there's like 5 billion ads on here. Yeah, an ad block may be necessary. Yeah, I mean, I really don't use ad blockers. Yeah, it's impossible to do without an ad block, and I'm not going to figure out how to put one on right now. I know some of these things come with an ad block filter already in there, but I think we're just going to have to do the U.S. states regular. We'll have to do it with borders. But I'll tell you what, to make it interesting, because I did notice they had that, just the state outlines. I think that'll make it pretty interesting. So starting out, Alabama. Now the thing I got to do is actually find it. And one of the interesting things that's going to play against it here that I don't know, kind of makes a big difference in some ways is the sizes of the states are very obviously not to proportion. So, all right. I'm looking through comments real quick because I just noticed I have not been keeping up with the comments for a minute. Okay. Oh no, I have. I just apparently skipped a lot earlier. All right. Alabama. So it's either Alabama or Mississippi. Yeah, Alabama, Nevada. This is going to be half the hard part is just finding the actual state. Idaho, Florida, Mississippi. Ohio. I can speak Japanese too. See? Ohio gozaimasu. Nan desu ka? All right, Delaware. Delaware's one of those states that looks kind of funny by itself if you never really see it by itself a lot. I'm trying to remember which one it is. If I can even find it. Okay. Is this? Yeah. All right. Colorado was going to be a square. And this is where the sizing kind of comes in because which one's Colorado, which one's Wyoming. But I see the dots, which maybe that's what is indicating the capital. Make that Colorado. Aha. Connecticut, one of the square ones. Illinois. I used to live in Illinois, right outside of Chicago, in an area called St. Charles. Lived there for about 5 or 6 years. Wrong button. There we go. Kentucky. Iowa. Now, when the page became unresponsive, I think I clicked in the right spot where Iowa was supposed to be, at least within the first 3 clicks. All right, South Dakota. I think that's South Dakota. Did I click that? Yeah, okay. I was about to say, what's it doing over here? Virginia. Virginia is for lovers. North Dakota. Oh, wait. Oh, seriously. Kansas, Nebraska, North Dakota. See, that's the thing. When you don't have the sizing, I mean, I guess, they do kind of have a good difference in terms of their eastern outline, but I don't know. All right. Minnesota. No, Wisconsin. Is that Minnesota? That's Minnesota. Why did I think that was Wisconsin for a second? Weird. All right, we know that's Kansas. Pennsylvania, that's an easy one to know. Ton of family from Philadelphia. Pretty much interesting fact. Almost everybody in my family went to school in Pennsylvania within a, like, I want to say like a first cousin distance, except for just a handful. So like both of my parents, let's see, my dad was born in Philly, grew up in Philly, went to schools there. My mom did not go to any schools in Pennsylvania, but my uncle did. My mom's brother did. He actually went to Penn. Then my dad's sisters, they went to school there because they grew up in Philadelphia too. And then my dad's parents both went to schools there. And then my cousins on those sides, my cousin on my mom's, both my cousins on my mom's side went to schools in Pennsylvania. I don't know, but it's interesting because a lot of the family didn't necessarily live in Pennsylvania. My uncle was from Connecticut. My cousins lived in Virginia, and then I'm obviously in North Carolina nowadays. So, all right, Vermont. Now, Vermont and New Hampshire are ones that even if I have the map, I get it like mixed up. New Hampshire, Vermont? No. See? At least I kind of knew which ones were what. Oklahoma, that's an easy one no matter what, if you can find it. Wyoming, let's close this ad. Maybe that'll help. Oh, you know what I just realized? I just realized that this is not sized correctly. And you all can't even see what I have to guess. That should hopefully make a difference. Okay. Save. Update layout. All right. All right. Back to this. Wyoming. There we go. Missouri, Mizzou, Georgia, right here. Tennessee. Almost moved to Tennessee. North Carolina. It'd be ridiculous if I didn't get North Carolina because I live there. Arkansas, right here. Oregon. Wait, which one's Oregon and which one's Washington? Oregon. Alaska, boom. Montana, New Mexico. No, wait. Why did I do that? Why did I click Utah? Oh my gosh. See the squares. I'm thinking too simplified. I need to stop thinking just basic shapes. All right, we know that's New Hampshire, Washington, Maine, Maryland. Boom. I was actually just in Maryland recently. Arizona, Nebraska, Michigan, New Jersey, Rhode Island. Of course, I picked Massachusetts. California, Massachusetts, Hawaii, Louisiana, New York, Indiana, Utah, West Virginia. Honestly, I mean, I did pretty good, but I don't think I did as well as I should have. I think there were a couple of stupid mistakes in there that just really, all right, let's see. What's chat saying? All right. What's the best website for researching ancestry in the Netherlands for English speakers? It depends where your family came from in the Netherlands, but what I can tell you is that pretty much all of the websites are fairly easy to use for English speakers. Most of them have an English section. Look for the Dutch word for language, Taal, Taal. I might not even be pronouncing that correctly because knowing Dutch, it's probably like Taal or something like that. I think Taal language. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah. How to say language in Dutch. Yeah, it's all. Yeah. Let's see. Is it gonna? Yeah, So look for that, and then you'll find English most of the time. Some good ones to start with to make it really, really easy. Family Search. They have a lot of this stuff from the Dutch archives indexed into their system. So you won't always see the records in Family Search. You have to go to the website to see them. But if you want to get straight into the websites, Open Archiven is pretty good. VVASV, which I'm pronouncing kind of in the Dutch way. It's spelled WIEWAASWIE, or is it WAS? Something like that. VVASV. A great website. If your family came from Amsterdam, you definitely need to get onto the Amsterdam archives. But depending on where your family is from, you might need to find more specific archives online, which a lot of the Dutch archival places have their own websites where you can find a lot of this stuff. I'm not familiar with all of them, but yeah, there's a lot you can find. Researching Dutch ancestry is really easy. And honestly, even if you can't find the websites find a lot of websites that are very easy to understand in English, I feel like Dutch is similar enough to English in not necessarily the pronunciation of the words, but the visual spelling of the words. They're very similar. So you can kind of get a general idea of how things are. Mother is moeder, father is vader, son is zun, daughter is doctor. There is some confusion with stuff because cousin and niece and nephew are interchangeable. So nicht and neef, they mean the same thing. So you could say, my nicht, my niece, or it could mean my female cousin, or my neef, my nephew, or my my male cousin. So that does get a little confusing there, but for the most part, Dutch, in my opinion, doesn't take long to learn a couple of specific words to really help out with things. And even then, geborgen means born, begraven, buried, for me, there's a lot of easy connection between them. All right. Let's see. Kind of just streaming through. I see a couple of questions here. Hey, Mr. Ross, newbie question. Okay, let's see. Mr. Ross, newbie question here. Do I only inherit from the pool my parents did from their parents and so on? Or is it just completely random? For example, my dad is part Portuguese, but on Ancestry did not get any Portuguese, but in my test I did. And I know my mom does not have any Portuguese in her recent Ancestry from my knowledge. The answer is you only get DNA that your parents have. The reason why you're getting a Portuguese reading and your father isn't, which does Ancestry break down Spain and Portugal specifically, or do they lump it as Iberian? But either way, there's a lot of complications with reading the admixtures and stuff. And, if you see something in there that makes you question a certain ancestry you have, the way to test that is then to get cousins from that shared ancestry to test and see if they match. So let's say that this throws into question a second great grandparent because that's where the Portuguese is from. Well, do you have known relatives who descend from that second great grandparent who you could have test, most specifically like a sibling of your great grandparents, their descendants? And then if you're matching them, well, that proves that all that, that does connect. Now there are, complications to that in certain scenarios, but just kind of in general. So hopefully that kind of answers that. To figure out the Dakotas, south should look flat around the border, while north should look like it's bordered by Canada. Yeah. So your dad was from West Philadelphia, born and raised? No, North Philadelphia, born and raised. On the streets of Mount Airy in Germantown. Okay. Yeah. You can use Translate in Chrome for the Dutch sites. Very true. I do this a lot myself. And Dutch is so easy to translate Dutch is so easy to translate back and forth with English that I feel like most translations I get for Dutch through Google systems are pretty spot on. But yeah, Jojo from Netherlands giving a lot of advice. So yeah, taal equals language. And then this is the site VivazV. So it was just one A. So Leiden is where you ship from, but North Frisian. So yeah, so I think for that you'll want to look into archives that deal specifically with Leiden and archives that deal specifically with Frisian ancestry. But you can definitely look at just kind of the general VivazV or Open Archiven and a few of the others that are kind of all over the Netherlands, not really region or city specific. And that'll at least kind of give you the general things you need. So stuff that you want to kind of look for, you'll want to look for what's known as the bevolking registers or population registers. You want to see if there's undertrouw registers available, marriage bonds available. You want to look up the huwelijk registers, the marriage registers, and they're probably baptism registers and other stuff you can find too. So yeah. Ancestry came over around 1640. Now that's kind of where it'll be difficult. I feel like depending on the areas, 16th century, 17th century is where you start to get documentation really building up. The strongest documentation doesn't happen until 1811 when Napoleon comes through and takes over the Netherlands and puts his brother Ludwig in charge of the Netherlands. And then they kind of enact the civil registers. And so you start getting all of that stuff, which is a common thing that Napoleon did throughout everywhere that he went. Very interesting. Yeah. VivazV goes back to around 1800. Yeah, I guess when I think of a lot of the records I see through VivazV, I think it's mostly those civil register records and things that were enacted after that 1811 change, which I will be honest, I don't know if the 1811 change was countrywide throughout the Netherlands or if it was something very specific to Noord-Holland and Zuid-Holland or even just specific to Amsterdam, but I think it was countrywide. Maybe Jojo can explain better. Interesting. North Freeland, now in Germany, uses Archeon, which is one of the websites I wasn't familiar with, though some of the parishes have other ways to get their records than Archeon, which costs money. So, okay, yeah, it was countrywide. That's what I thought. I thought it was countrywide. So, I think it's an interesting thing to discuss here too, is just that idea of how understanding history can help you understand what to look for in genealogy, because knowing the fact that 1811, big change in the civil registers, means that if you look for a birth for someone born in 1810, it's going to be a completely different thing than looking for a birth for someone born in 1811. Granted, I don't remember what the cutoff date was because I don't think it's exactly like January 1st, 1811, but I could be wrong on that too. But, it's just interesting, knowing those kinds of things, and just there's so much that helps with that. It's like the World War II draft or World War I draft in the U.S. If you know the dates of when the draft was enacted and the ages of people who were supposed to sign up, then you know how or who you should expect to find in there. A lot of Frisian talks in here today. That's a surprise to me. It's the beauty of genealogy and working on so many different types of ancestries. We're going to be hitting on so many different ones. Unfortunately, I think a lot of it will obviously be mostly in Europe just because of my specialties, and a lot of the research I've done has mostly been in Europe, but definitely want to dive into things that are outside of that realm, and hopefully we can start talking about not just kind of these more micro regions than just countries and stuff, but then also, some of the lesser known sorts of things. So, but I need to have an expertise in stuff before I can really start making videos about it like I'm some sort of expert on it. All right. Let's see. Should we do another test? Should we do others? We're in the North America. They have flag games, printables, a lot of stuff. So where am I at? How long have I even been streaming for? I've been going for an hour and a half, and I've got 4 people on Twitch. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, it would also help me out a whole bunch. Just, say hey in the chat. Jojo's been super, super active in the chat. From Twitch, but let me see. Let me jump over Yeah, Weeping Scorpion did jump in for a bit over on Twitch. And we do have a few other new followers. Awesome. Yeah. See, I'm up to I'm up to 14 followers on Twitch. So yeah, I need to up my Twitch game too. I need to figure out how to do Twitch better because I know Twitch has all those automatic things and all that. So, what should we do? Do we want to do another? I kind of want to do one of these fun ones of like the teams. Which I'm sure a lot of people will be confused by. Let's do NBA. Okay, Toronto Raptors. Oh, whoops. What's the city right outside of Detroit? Is it Vancouver that's right outside of Detroit? Washington Wizards, Oklahoma City Thunder, New Orleans Pelicans. I think this is going to be a little bit easier than I was expecting it to be. Okay, well, maybe not. Houston Rockets. Where is Houston? No. Whoops. Okay, Los Angeles Clippers, Atlanta Hawks, Chicago Bulls, Philadelphia 76ers. All right, now I don't know which one is more nice. All right, Detroit Pistons, Indiana Pacers, Dallas Mavericks, Cleveland Cavaliers, Minnesota Timberwolves, Memphis Grizzlies. It's kind of interesting seeing it laid out on a map of where the NBA teams are. Boston, Milwaukee, Sacramento, Portland Trail Blazers, Charlotte Hornets, Denver Nuggets, Phoenix Suns, Utah Jazz, the Golden State Warriors, Brooklyn Nets. All right, 91%, not too bad. So, yeah, Houston on the coast. See, this shows you the funniness of genealogy and geography and stuff. I was knocking this stuff out with Europe stuff, and then when it comes to figuring out the cities in Texas, I'm so lost. Now, granted, I do know some of the areas in Texas from research, especially Leon County, because when I did research for Joseph Hall Patton, also known as a cynical historian, tracing up his Patton line, his paternal line, it traces to Leon County, Texas. Then it hits a dead end. And we actually did have Joe take a Y-DNA test, a big Y. And let's just say things are looking like genetically, that Patton line is not a patrilineal line. Or at least the Patton name is not patrilineal, that it must be coming from somewhere else. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think I'm just hitting about an hour and a half so far on the stream. So I think I'm going to be kind of wrapping it up in a second here, but let's go through just a couple of more chat stuff. So if you do have any more questions, definitely let me know. Yeah, not too many. I think Twitch gets like one free sub with Prime. Yeah, Twitch, if you have a Twitch Prime account, you get one free sub every month. But I don't think you can sub for me yet because I haven't become, it's either an affiliate or a partner something. I've got a lot that I've got to hit for that. Let's see, I'm looking at it. Analytics, achievements. So path to affiliate, I need to get 50 followers, stream for 8 hours, which I've done that already, stream on 7 different days, done that, and an average of 3 viewers, which right now my average viewer count on Twitch is 0.67, but that's before this stream. So this stream probably has the largest amount of Twitch followers. So yeah, it is Iberian on Ancestry. His French ancestry would be the closest region he did match with. that is closest to Portugal. I didn't assume that they would put those together, and it is his. Yeah, Iberian would just be Spanish and Portuguese. If they do decipher any sort of specific Portuguese or Spanish, I wouldn't be surprised if there was still a general Iberian reading, because the difficulty between reading those two populations, I would think, would be very difficult. A lot of correlation. Oh, Drea. Well, just for a little bit, if you want to jump over right now, I won't stop you. I just want to get those numbers up, because then I can become an affiliate on Twitch, and I just want to make sure I have the ability, if something happens on YouTube, that I can still jump to another platform and be able to grow without having to spend a ton of time trying to become monetized. Let's see. Should I consider taking my DNA test from another company? I used my heritage and had 14 ethnicities, and it feels very wrong. I don't know. It really depends on what is the purpose of taking the DNA test. If it's just the admixture, then honestly, I don't necessarily think it's worth it, just because I don't think testing for admixtures very worthwhile. But in my mind, it's worthwhile to do DNA tests in different companies, most especially in the mindset of being in multiple databases, because for me, the focus is genetic genealogy and building that family history. And to do that with DNA testing, you need genetic matches. And so the more genetic matches, the better. With the admixtures, the way that I always like to refer to it, it's like looking at a very blurred out photo, very pixelated photo. And, you can get a sense of maybe what's going on. Maybe you can kind of get an idea of, well, that looks like a horse, but maybe it could be a dog, but maybe it could be a cow, but maybe it's something else. And, this stuff over here looks like a tree, and this stuff looks like but it's hard to tell. But then doing the actual genealogy and the genetic genealogy and building the family history, that's where that blurry photo then becomes a much more specific, here's the actual story. So with admixtures, you get these percentages, but there's a lot of margin of error with it, specifically the precision and recall numbers, which we talked about on last week's stream on the reaction channel. And so each population group with each test has different varying levels of how confident they are with it. And some of them aren't that confident with certain population groups. And there's a lot of different complications with it. And so the admixtures, you could go on and on for days trying to interpret it, but until you do the actual genealogy to, unblur the photo, you're basically just arguing, hey, does this blurry little lump in this photo, is it a dog? Is it a cat? Is it a horse? Is it a cow? What is it? Well, you could guess and guess and guess and have all sorts of reasons why you might think it's one over the other, but until that picture becomes clear, you're not going to know. Hopefully that helps. Didn't really answer your question directly necessarily, but yeah, I will say MyHeritage is the one company that a lot of people, or the most people I hear complaining about the admixture, it's usually MyHeritage. The Twitch is not in the description. Yeah, I didn't even think to put it in the description in YouTube or anything like that. Maybe I should. But yeah, it's just Twitch. What is it? Twitch.tv/GeneaVlogger. So here, I'm going to put it in the chat. So it's going to come up to everyone. So yeah, so if you are on Twitch, or even if you're not really on Twitch, but you have a profile there, go follow, help me out. It'd be awesome. So yeah, let's see. It used to be in their affiliate contract that Twitch streamers could only stream on Twitch, but I don't know about now. Yeah, actually, I don't know about that. I guess I'll have to look at that and see if that's the case. Because if that is the case, then I'll still want to stream on Twitch, but it's certainly not going to be something that I'll be able to make money on, at least unless YouTube fails or something. Yeah. So, okay. So, yeah. I kind of gonna leave a wow. It's so funny. All of a sudden, my numbers just went up altogether. But I have a ton of people on Twitch. All right, geez, maybe I need to keep going a little bit longer with so many of you on Twitch helping me out. The longer I have a bunch of you on Twitch, the better the numbers are. So maybe I need. Should we do another quiz? Yes. Also join the Discord for genealogy help. I've got a very buzzing Discord. I don't think Matt or Charlie are here, so they're not going to be able to really share the link. So Maven, if you have a link, do a few more. Okay, I'll do a few more. I can do a few more. So let's see. I need to bring it back up. That kind of helps. So data. Do you want to check? Nobody. All right. Do you have any suggestions to not getting bored looking into not indexed records page by page? No. No. It's just something you've got to get used to. And honestly, I mean, that's the kind of thing, that's the stuff where I stay up till 3 a.m. in the morning. Like nowadays, because everything's digitized, but not necessarily indexed, you can go and look up full in digitized books, but you have to go page by page. And so there's so many times that I've stayed up till 3 in the morning going through a 1,000 page book that has, all the births in this area or something, going page by page, looking for what I needed or family names or things like that. I think the only suggestion I have is, make sure you stand up and kind of stretch and give yourself a break every now and again. And then, I don't know. I mean, I think I almost always have like music or TV or something on in the background when I do that stuff. So, all right. We got some people on the Twitch side. That's Drea. What's this? Up, here we go. Thank you very much. And all right, yeah, so sweet. Got a bunch of people on Twitch. So let's do another one of these tests, one of these quizzes. So, all right. World. Let's see what's all games about Europe. Wine regions, flag games. I'd probably do terrible at flags. I think I do terrible at flags. Yes, double-digit viewer number. Nice. Thank you so much, everybody. I really am appreciating that. And make sure that you follow, too. If you haven't followed, make sure you do that, too. That'll help me out. I wonder, one thing I need to learn is for my streaming stuff, how to kind of have, like, stuff pop up. I need to learn that. Let's see, I want to set up goal alerts. Celebrations. I'll have to figure that out after. I'm not going to make you all sit here and wait while I figure that out. So, but yeah, I like Twitch better than YouTube. Yeah, they both kind of have their thing. One of the reasons why I'm definitely streaming on YouTube is with YouTube, I do have the opportunity to get the super stickers and stuff. So if anyone donates or anything wants to donate, I actually have a way to do that. Whereas Twitch, I obviously need to get into the program or whatever to allow that. Granted, one reason I want to get into Twitch is they do not take the same type of a cut for donations that YouTube does. At least that's what I've been told. Do flag names. We always attach flags to ethnicities of our ancestors and trees. Well, that's kind of an interesting thing that you bring up, because that's one of those things that, like, I feel is a very personal preference for people. I'm not a big fan of putting flags in the descriptions for family trees for the photo thing, or like I kind of hate it when I see that on like the collaborative trees and stuff. But yeah, so like I never do that much, which maybe that is a good way for a lot of people, that if they do that, they learn a lot of the flags, but I don't. Can't figure out the Twitch login. Don't worry. It's not imperative that you do it. It's certainly, it helps me out, but you know, it's fine. YouTube does have way more viewers also. Yeah, I mean I have what 54,000 subscribers on YouTube, so it organically gets pushed out to more people on YouTube than Twitch. Granted, with all of these people jumping in on Twitch right now, I wonder if that'll kind of get Twitch to start recommending me more or something. Because I know that's a complaint a lot of streamers have about YouTube, is they feel that it's harder to be found by random people on YouTube. It's harder than it is to be found on Twitch. Fun with flags from the Big Bang Theory. My parents watch Big Bang Theory. I'm not a big fan of it. I've seen episodes. Trying to remember if I remember that episode. It is kind of a funny show. All right, to the actual thing. I've seen a lot of people say flags, so let's do flags. We're going to do the easy version. And right off the bat, I'm already like, I'm going to have to kind of go through stuff to kind of try to figure it out. Kosovo. Obviously Kosovo's in the Balkans. So I'm trying to see ones that are like Balkan-like. No. Oh, screwed that up. Okay, Finland. Oh, see, there's a few that I can tell like right off the bat, but then others that I'm just like, oh my God, what is it? What is it? Okay, Finland. Oh, wait, you know what? Okay. Sweden, Finland. Yeah, Sweden, Finland. Yeah. Is that right? Must be. It must be. All right. Bulgaria. No clue. Bulgaria. Is that? No, Slovenia. Belarus. No. Oh, Moldova. Oh, gosh. Bulgaria. Okay, Greece, I know. United Kingdom. Boom, bop, bam. Iceland. I feel like if I say the name more, it's like all of a sudden the flag will pop up in my head. Iceland. Okay. Iceland. Is it this one? No, that's Estonia. Okay. See, I wonder if Iceland. I wonder if it's going to be like one of the Scandinavian. There you go. Okay. Now the Netherlands. Now this one's going to be really, really embarrassing if it's not the one that I think it is. If it's not the one that I think it is, oh my gosh. I feel like I'm going to be disowned by all of my Dutch cousins. I'll be banned from ever visiting Amsterdam again. It's going to be a terrible, terrible thing. So please let me be correct about this. I'm like just kind of like doing, like going through all the flags just to be like doubly sure. Because part of the problem with the Netherlands, a lot of those countries in that area kind of is just the like, hey, we're going to be 3 colors. And we're all going to be kind of generally the same 3 colors, white, red, and something else. Oh, thank you. Woo. Okay, Poland. No, oh, that's Albania. Wait. Didn't Poland? Wait, no, Poland. What is it, puppy boy? What is it? Oh, you want to say hi to everybody? We got doggy cameo on the stream, everybody. Yeah, you want to be held like a baby? Is that it? All right. So, what are we gonna choose for Poland? Poland. That can't be Poland, is it? Because I thought Poland was the double eagles, but that's Albania. Montenegro. Oh, I'm screwing it up. All right. No. It is. Oh my gosh. I kept thinking I was not going to get that right. All right. Lithuania. Now, what's Lithuania? I told you all, I'm terrible with flags. If I get over 50%, I'm going to be happy. If I get over 50%, I'll be happy. All right. Lithuania. Oh. Okay. Moldova. Moldova. Which one's Moldova? You tired, little boy? He's a tired dog. He needs scratches. Okay, Moldova. I really see. This is where you really need JJ McCullough because he's like the flag guy. I mean, he's literally got videos of name that flag. Please send in these crazy flags that you find and name it. That's Germany. Is that No, that's Belgium. I want to say Moldova is one of the 3 color ones. No. Oh. Czech Republic. That's got to be Switzerland, right? Norway, Denmark, Latvia. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at these. Okay, I think Montenegro was one of these, wasn't it? Yeah. Italy, that's the easy one. Ireland, Switzerland, Slovenia. I think that was one of the ones over here, right? Serbia, Slovakia. So if it's not this, no. Right there. All right. Norway. No, that was Sweden. Norway. Oh, wait, no. I literally just clicked Latvia. Oh, seriously. Latvia. Jack, what are you doing? You're all awake now? Latvia. What do you think, Peter? What do you think? Here. Latvia. What do you think? Look right there, Peter. Peter, look, who's that? Say hello to everybody, Peter, right there. You see? Yeah. Okay, Latvia. No, Belarus. Oh, gosh. Okay, Belgium. Belarus. Portugal. France. Estonia, I remember from screwing up earlier. Sweden, hey. Germany, Deutschland. I said Deutschland. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Spain. Okay. Slovakia. Austria. I do know Romania. Definitely know Ukraine. Funny enough, I'm in a Christian fraternity known as the Sigma Chi fraternity, and our flag, the Sigma Chi flag, is the Ukraine flag with a big cross on it, basically. Now, I think our flag predates the Ukrainian flag, actually, the Sigma Chi flag, but I do think it's kind of funny, me being Jewish and being in a Christian fraternity that like is all based upon the whole story of the Battle of Milvian Bridge and Constantine and seeing Teutonica in the sky and all that stuff. But funny enough, my uncle was also in Sigma Chi, and he was the consul, a president of one of the chapters who was Jewish. So, all right. Albania, we knew that from screwing up earlier. Denmark. Okay, Croatia. North Macedonia, no. Is that this? Yeah. Hungary, Serbia, Bosnia. Let's see. Good boy. All right. So there we go. 60%. And I gotta say, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy I did that good. So awesome. Let's see. Oh wow, we're still holding strong with 10 people watching on Twitch. Awesome. So that's been let's see, how long did that take me? 9 minutes, 17 seconds. So all right. So the next time I stream on the main channel, I'm thinking I'll do this county one. Because the way that this one works is it's 90 minutes and then you have to guess them all. But basically you just kind of like type it in and then, you know, if one has multiple names, it does a bunch. So like Washington, George, John, Adams, you know that. So this is what I'll do the next time. Try to name as many as I possibly can. Which, you know, yeah. All right. I'm not gonna do it for right now. But yeah, so that's what I think I'm gonna do next time. But I definitely want to hear suggestions, what you'd like to see me doing in these live streams, because I do have plans for some of these main channel live streams. The live streams on the reaction channel are going to be the Q&As. Like every time I do the Reddit Q&As and all that stuff, that's what that focus is going to be. For everything else that's not gaming, it's going to be through the main channel. So I want to do a lot of fun stuff. Some of the things that I plan on doing is I'm going to be building family trees of famous historical figures. So kind of, you know, starting with, let's say, Abraham Lincoln and then building his tree and just showing all the stuff you can kind of find and how to build the trees using that. And then maybe going through archives or stuff online, or I don't know, but, you know, I'd love to hear some suggestions. One thing I also want to make sure that everybody knows about and does, if you have not already done it, I'm going to leave that, is taking the audience survey that I put out for, let's see if I can find it, for the year. So I'm going to start doing a yearly audience survey. And I took this basically from Sam Aronow and Grant from The Casual Historian, who both have been doing stuff like this, and basically kind of use theirs as a, you know, guide of what I should put in and things like that. So I've already received over 150. So there we go. Just follow that link and it'll take it. If you've already done it, don't worry about it. I see a few people already kind of saying that, but if you have not done it, definitely go and do it. I would love to get, you know, what your thoughts are on things, and most especially gives me a way to see what's working best with everyone, what, you know, kind of stuff I might want to do in the future. And it also gives you a place to put in suggestions. I mean, I literally have like a paragraph area of tell me what you think would be great. So, see the numbers. All right, still sticking strong on Twitch. I feel like everybody that just jumped over to Twitch are like my like strongest supporters. So that's awesome. Thank you so much to everybody. Trying to get a little bit more caffeine in me. So the hole in your head is growing. Yeah, what it is, it's the light, because you see how you change the light. So I need to, let's see if that does that. That just, yeah. Let's see. How about that? No, that's not. No. Do we want to go that way? Oh, look at that. I think right there, 40. Let's see, right there. Yeah, right there. That's probably the best. Yeah. Yeah, that is. You are correct, Samuel. That was the green screen. That was the green screen. So, I know somebody already guessed one to. I can't remember who guessed in the beginning, but anyone want to guess the map that's behind me before I finish up the floating head? Yeah, look, when I put my hands up, it's very. Ooh. So yeah, so what's up, Jackie boy? My other dog's now next to me. I get the feeling that they want something from me. So I think with that, I'm going to go ahead and get the stream ended. But thank you so much to everyone who joined today. Be sure to fill out that survey if you didn't you already say Livorno? Yes, I did. Wasn't sure if anyone remembered. If they, I've been streaming for about 2 hours now, so I know not you stream for that long. The people that you end with aren't really always the same people you start with. But hey, if the majority of my audience has been here the entire time, that is absolutely amazing. I truly appreciate it. But I will see you all next Friday, 2:00. The next one was going to be a Reddit question and answer on the reaction channel. And then the week after that, I think I'll be doing that counties map quiz. And then we'll see about what other streams I'll be doing. And then keep your eyes out for a new YouTuber Family Tree series episode coming out, which I should say, I know that I've been doing singular episodes on YouTubers, but it doesn't mean that that's going to be the only episode. I'm going to be going back and doing more episodes on the other YouTubers. I just wanted to be able to get to a lot more than doing, full seasons on one, being stuck focusing on one person while a lot of others are waiting. So, all right. Thank you so much, everybody. Truly appreciate it. I'm the GeneaVlogger. I'm out.